Good afternoon, everybody. Today, Elliott Pritt appeared in the United States Magistrate Court for his initial appearance and his detention hearing, both of which he determined was in his best interest to waive. Effectively, what that means is that Elliott Pritt will remain in custody and detention of the United States throughout this case, which is appropriate given what we know about this case. What I wanted to talk to the people of West Virginia about today and why I stand before you today is multifold. And first off, I want to thank the efforts of the individuals that are standing behind me. I want to thank Jennifer Harold from our office, who prosecutes these crimes day in and day out and deals with facts that would make most of us stay up at night. But her commitment to justice and her commitment to the children of West Virginia is unwavering, and I want to thank her for that. I want to thank the Department of Homeland Security and their investigative wing, HSI. Their agents have worked this case thoroughly day and night without sleep to ensure that we work it expeditiously and ensure that those that are a danger in our community are brought off the street as quickly as possible. I also want to thank my friend, Sheriff McMullen, who is behind me, of Fayette County. We know in West Virginia that we live in one small, big town, if you will. And Fayette County's been hit with a lot of trauma recently. But they have wonderful leadership, and Jess is no exception in that category. I can't imagine the calls that he's fielded over the past several days to assuage the concerns of many of his constituents about the safety of their community. The second reason that I come before you today is to talk about crimes against children generally. This is something that many West Virginians opened up the paper last week and read about and were, of course, horrified at the allegations that were brought forth in the articles that many of you published. But what I will tell you is that this is something that we deal with day in and day out in this office. And this particular case is one that has become forefront in the minds of many West Virginians. And I think it's critical at times like this that we keep in mind that there are many children in our communities in the Southern District of West Virginia that are struggling. Many children in our community that are afraid to come forward. Many children that don't want to deal with the impacts associated with being a victim of a crime like this. And at a time like this, I believe this to be an inflection point when we should all applaud the bravery of these victims. The bravery that it takes to come forward and talk to a federal officer about a wrong that was committed to you. And regardless of what happens in this case, what we know is that there is a child in West Virginia that has had irreparable harm committed upon them. And it's something that they will live with for the rest of their lives. Every defendant in this country, and one of the beauties of this country, is that every defendant is innocent until proven guilty. That's something that we take very seriously in this office throughout this country, and that our founding fathers inculcated into us and felt so strongly about that they memorialized it into a piece of paper that we look at every single day. But what I would encourage parents out there to do is allow this to be the opportunity for you to have those difficult conversations with your children. Remember that crimes against children and grooming is not socioeconomically blind. It can happen to the wealthiest child in West Virginia just as easily as it can happen to that is the most impoverished. Technological advances and how sophisticated these folks that groom these children are has no bounds. And I can tell you that folks that are out there that seek to do harm to our children will use every technological advantage that they can and every maneuver that they know to groom these children as slowly as that takes to ultimately come to what we all consider to be a really horrible, horrible ending. So have those difficult conversations with your children. Make them age appropriate. Let them know that if people are testing your comfort zones, to come to you as parents and talk about it. And as parents, come to your law enforcement officers and report what you hear from your children. Education is the best way that we can interdict child grooming. But we have to have those conversations with our children. They are difficult, they are uncomfortable, but they're necessary. So today, really, my mission statement to all of West Virginians is be on the lookout. And as I always say, if you see something, say something. There's always somebody in West Virginia that wants to help you. This office will help you. This office's top priority is to make West Virginia the best place to live, work, and raise a family, but we can't do that without ensuring that we're creating an environment that is safe for our children. With that, I'm happy to take any questions. Does anybody want to add anything? Any of the folks that are here want to add anything to the folks? Questions? Yes.
I think the AG did get a settlement with the company Roblox, but it's also been called a hunting ground for child predators. Will the state of West Virginia or anyone on your team be seeking further legal action or damages from Roblox in the future?
Yeah, I think the advances in technology are really scary. We talk about how much they do for us as a society to advance us commercially, to advance us politically, in our office to help us send emails faster and all of those things. But when we're thinking about children, I'm glad you brought that up. Keep in mind that our children are engaging wirelessly. They're engaging on Roblox, they're engaging on Snapchat, they're engaging on Instagram, they're engaging on a whole bunch of apps that I can't even name. And great hygiene for families to remember is to always know what your children are doing on their devices, whether it's their iPad or their FirePad or whatever it is, or their iPhone. Always be checking in with your children's phone, especially if you have minor children. I was giving a talk to a Game Changer event in Beckley. I think there were 300 high school and middle school kids, and I asked all of them to raise their hands on who all has Roblox on their phone. 75 to 80% of them raised their hands, and I said, just make sure you know who you're talking to. Talk to your parents about who you're talking to and report those conversations. Yes. Follow up?
Oh, I was going to maybe we could talk afterwards about more about that, because I know that there was legal action, and a lot of states have been pursuing legal action because of sort of the way that it's set up. Kids really like to use it, but the way that it's set up, it makes it hard for parents to oversee what their kids do and everything like that. So I don't know if you guys were pursuing. I guess we can talk about it afterwards.
I think the general message is engage with your children in everything that they're doing. How often are we, as a father of 3 young children, I can tell you I'm always looking over the shoulder to see what it is that they're doing on, on their iPad or their phone if they have it. Mine don't have phones, but, if you're looking over their shoulder, say, what is that? Who are you talking to? How are you engaging? A lot of children are engaging that way with each other. We used to go outside and, play hide and go seek and spotlight, but now people are playing Roblox. I don't know that we get away with it. You're right. I applaud the AG's office for attacking this aggressively. Hopefully we'll see some regulatory bounds maybe put around it, but that's not my job, so I'm not going to get into that piece of it. Stephen?
Yeah, obviously this was the preliminary hearing, detention hearing. You waived that stuff. Walk us through the next steps for your office and for your investigators going forward.
The next step will be when our office presents an indictment to the grand jury. That will be forthcoming, and we will keep all of you all aware of when that is coming. But that's the next step in the process. We'll present an indictment to the grand jury. Yes, sir.
Are more charges possible or expected?
We're not going to comment on any forthcoming charges at this point in time, but you've heard you've seen the criminal complaint and reviewed it. That's where we are right now. Oftentimes, when we have cases where we have a crime against a child, we announce that we want children to feel comfortable coming forward, because I would say that it's probably the rule and not the exception that you'll have other victims that will come forward as long as they feel comfortable doing so. Yes?
And there was also I don't know if you can comment on this, but there was also an investigation to the Fayette County School Board. During the investigation, was there any indication that people at the school knew? I know that some of the incidents occurred in the classroom. Was there any
I'd probably contact the Fayette County if I was you. Yes?
Where is Mr. Pritt going to be detained until,
Pardon me?
where is Mr. Pritt going to be detained for the immediate future?
The United States Marshals will make that determination, and I think that that's publicly available information that you can find over the internet. I don't know. You'll have to ask the Marshal Service. Yes?
Is there any further, that this case can illuminate, given his position as a publicly elected official and as a teacher?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime somebody's in a position of public trust, that's something that we expect behavior that is higher and different from that of the average citizen. What it does do right now, as we stand here today, it highlights the importance of having those difficult conversations. As I said earlier, this is something that we deal with in our office every day. It doesn't always have this much attention, but what this attention should draw, and the message that we would like for it to disseminate throughout West Virginia and to the people, and particularly to the parents of West Virginia and to the children who are victims out there, is that it's okay to come forward, that we will act on your behalf, we will take care of you, and we will ensure that we deliver justice to those that wronged you.
You probably can't talk about the
Yes, Stephen.
specifics of this, but broadly speaking, and I'm familiar with this through the FBI, what it does, I'm sure it's very similar to HSI. I talked a little bit about just the level of data collection that goes along with doing these type of investigations and the forensic evidence that you have to get. Obviously, you have to try to get some stuff from Roblox, Snapchat, and collect it, and talk a little bit about that extensive process.
Jenny, you want to take that? I'm happy to take it too. I didn't know Jenny's the expert, but of course, our subpoenas have grown in number as applications have come online. Children sort of find what the activity or the application that they enjoy. That's why app creators are billionaires, because they continue to find different ways. What I would say is that we will subpoena any records from any application and any technology company that is perpetrating harm onto our children. You can be sure that there will be a thorough investigation on this matter. But let me be very, very, very clear that this is one of many matters, and every single matter that involves a child in the state of West Virginia, we are just as thorough, and we will apply the hand of justice just as hard. Other questions? Thanks, everybody. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. As we were speaking, I just want to get like a quick reaction. We got the resignation, or like just now, as you were speaking, you probably saw us all on our phones. During this process between like the arrest and that kind of thing, was his attorney in contact with leadership, or was he ever aware that there were calls for his resignation while he was in custody?
I can't comment on that because I don't know the answer. And I didn't even know there was a resignation.
Yeah, reaction to his resignation literally came in as you were speaking.
Well, that's a decision. Obviously, I read the news just like everybody else throughout the day. I know that there were calls for the resignation for his service. There was a broad swath of support, for that. I can't comment on legislative issues. I once was able to, but in this capacity, in this role, what I can say is that distracting from that process is exactly that, a distraction, and it sounds like that distraction has been removed. Okay, thanks.